This is another topical issue. Today's topic is Fumo. Fumo's KENPO East Africa goes wushu or kung fu. The topic is small arms and light arms illegal accusation, the bane of East African stability. Today, Fumo approaches this issue with a lot of concern for the East African countries. We are a peaceful region, yet the irony of the whole situation is that we are trying to sustain peace in a peaceful region. That is the hardest part, because we have long spells of peace. A rebel group breaks from somewhere. Fights, there is insecurity for some time, and then peace. Repeatedly. So, Fumo today would like us to get from our drunken state. We are drunk with the tribalism, with the feeling that it is when our man has got something that we are secure, or our woman has got something that we are secure, feeling that any government that will not follow all our dictates should be removed from power. This has allowed a lot of illegal small arms and light arms proliferation into our zone, because now there is a market. Those selling these arms use the porous borders, because some countries are not able to secure their borders completely. There are rules and regulations in certain countries that allow the movement of this unknowingly. So there is also cartels. Cartels make a lot of money selling these weapons. It is sad that in some areas you will go and you find somebody can barely put on shoes or wear properly, but they have got very expensive ammunitions, arms, and you find that it goes to a certain point that you'll find some people exchanging a tin full of bullets for maybe a tin full of maize grains. See the expense, how much a tin full of bullets costs, and the price of a tin of maize grains. That's what has been happening. So you realize that the person exchanging this has not bought these arms. But what has been happening to us? Those that are not interested in the development of the region, or who feel that if the region develops, it will undermine their commercial progress, do so. They operate in different styles. These are the styles they operate in. In mineral-rich zones, they create turmoil so that they are able to acquire the minerals at their own pleasure. You say, we are going to get this amount of mineral in exchange for a gun, in exchange for things like that. And they make sure that when the governments of the zone are arming, they are arming the militia. And every time there is always a scare, you are government in place, but you know what the rebels have acquired? We can give you several of those for this amount of minerals or resources. That's what happens in areas where there are minerals. That's why you find a place like Congo has got a lot of strife and turmoil. Then there comes to other places where you cannot make money with violence. There they initiate peace, but make sure that most of their companies are operating in that, because there the resource is the people buying the things. But in other regions of those places, the arms are still sold. So what can East Africa do to protect itself from such things? These are layman's suggestions. I may be right or may be wrong. But from what I've been observing, mostly it takes that trend. Where there are a lot of minerals, a lot of turmoil. Where there is a market, stability, but in the hands of the foreign companies. So this, I feel, can be solved in the following manner. First of all, we need an East African unity in sincerity. We have it, but it's like we are lots of divided countries pretending to be doing one thing. We need a unity that can be felt. One, so that we can ensure security. We put regulations, rules that will curtail this flow of small arms and light arms. Second thing, we make sure that we have a proper market for the minerals, because cartels are able to infiltrate. Make sure that there is turmoil so that they, in fact, it's literally taking the resources to other places. Another thing is that we have to ensure that our people, out of these minerals and things that are happening, we're able to create an economy where they can be able to sustain themselves and create jobs. That one is possible. I talked in the previous video on Africa. It's only when we do that that we shall ensure peace in the region. But when I'm saying this, I'm not saying we should undermine God's power and presence. We should pray and act. Once we've done these things, we have set rules, we have markets for our resources, and maybe we are able to tap into each other's market as far as supply, because another big resource we have is the population. People consuming, it brings a lot of money. You sell items, they buy items, be they food items, be they items of different kinds. We make sure that we tap our markets. Control of the small arms will be possible. And long-term peace shall be sustained. And another thing we have to look at, let each country keep its political atmosphere. Because some of these things are caused by us trying to export our politics to other places. Let our politics be our politics, but let's have common economic activities. But let our politics be our politics. We can only assist countries that are suffering from that by making sure that we clean our own houses. And that can be done as a group. East African community, you can make it. You have all the resources. It is your time. Stability, peace, and make sure that you put law structures that will ensure across the East African community you can be able to sustain borders so that they are not porous, be able to kick out cartels that deal with weapons, let countries import their own weapons. Let's not have a situation where arms will be able to filter in from other places, because countries are licensed to import their weapons. Let countries import weapons, and let there be no other cartels that bring in weapons illegally. I know we have got very capable leaders. I know we've got very capable citizens. The only thing left is for us to think as one. Because in a machine, let's say maybe a bicycle, if the wheel detaches from the main body of the bicycle will collapse, it won't go. If the pedals are removed and put aside from the bicycle won't go. But you need each and every part fixed in its proper place so that the machine can work. We can be a good economic machine. We can be a good peace region, that we won't be looking behind our soldiers, our shoulders to sustain the peace. There are many countries where you will find vehicles moving, military vehicles and all these things, but in East Africa, it's only when there's turmoil that you find these things moving. So if we are able to maintain so that we don't have those arms, it's generally a peaceful region. We shall reap from our resources. Our countries shall flourish. And we shall have less people feeling like leaving the country to go to other places. The development will be there. The places we go to were developed by the people there. Europe was developed by the people in Europe. America has been developed by the people in America. Running away from our place, we not develop our place. We have a lot of resources. We have a lot of land. We have a lot of sunshine. Let's develop our place so that we can also be proud of our place. Look at China. It has developed itself. I've been watching videos. I've never traveled to these places. But you look at it and you say, wow, this looks beautiful. Look at Dubai, from desert to a place where everybody wants to travel. Because the people of those places have taken interest, created situations that have allowed them to prosper to that level. We can do it for ourselves too. Let's have an Africa that everybody would admire to come to. An East Africa that one would say, you can't miss that place. I always like the country, giving an example with a country that was in turmoil once, when things went amok. That was Rwanda. But I've been seeing some things on video about Kigali. And there was a time when a brother traveled to that place and he told me Kigali is wonderful. Wonderful. We can copy from such a things. Let's put up something that when people come to East Africa, they say, wow, the economy is wow. Everything, wow. We can do it with God's grace. We put our belief in God and let the leaders put their heads together, work as one machine. That is the appeal from FOMO for the East African community. Let's do a drunken wushu or kung fu style. Appear to be down, but fight to be up. That is my take for today.